Umbro Pie. My name is Jimmy D. Today's special guest host, Court.
AKA the Atraxa guy.
Yeah. The man that has created the problem child that is Atraxa within our format.
Yep.
All of us were asking for the band, and then Eris comes along, and everyone's like, well, maybe that's the big bad. Yeah, maybe.
And then it was a commander for 2 mana for the entirety of the game.
Right.
Which is arguably a lot worse.
Hey, we got some bits finally. Thank you. All right, 100 bits coming to Pikachu. Fantastic. I'm going to actually get myself into the next goal. Thank you very much. Champion, who actually is going to be featured in this next matchup that we have for you today. This is fantastic. Champion is going to be playing his awesome new deck that I cannot wait to showcase for you. Loot. The new Pokemon-esque character, and obviously copyright, but this Luke character is absolutely adorable. He even has his own mascot that we're going to be showing off on camera, and he's playing up against...
So, Rex is here on Lucas and Will. The Lucas and Will deck is a very unique deck in Dual Commander. Mm-hmm. It is basically a turbo ad nos deck, where he's going to build up resources and combo off as quickly and securely as possible. But
yeah, and anybody who's actually seen this channel for a little bit or even seen our YouTube channels, Rex has been a prominent figure on here with a deck that most people think is not a thing. And I gotta say, Rex has been dominating in a very, very competitive format with Eris in the format, with these Marchesa decks that are just absolutely dominating. The Veldin decks that have been absolutely... We've got... some other hate pieces of big decks that, like, we're playing a lot of tier 1 decks. Like, rarely will you come in here with anything that's not on that leaderboard.
Yeah, we got Eris, Atraxa, Yoshimaru, basically all kinds of tier 1 and 2 decks flying around everywhere. And this one's really just coming out of the dark. You don't see it much anywhere, but let me tell you what, it does work.
And apparently he's never beat you.
It's been real close. There have been a couple of games where I slid more than a match. But, yeah, I am still holding that for at least the moment. But it's been real close a lot of the time. This
is going to be Rex's like journey to it. We're going to wait to see next time when Court gets on camera. And we'll see what this matchup leads. See if we can see the underdog being beat. Kind of. I say he's the underdog, but the man has been on so many features at this point. He's almost the leader of this entire board state, or I'm sorry, the entire league right now, or this championship series. Well, we will get to the championship series at the end of this thing, because no spoilers. Let's get into
Rex, I got people coming after me already just for playing Atraxa. You ain't got to get that out there.
Bounty could be started soon. Just watch out. I've done it before. I'll do it again. So let's roll into the deck list, shall we? Now, what you were talking about with this Will and Lucas here deck.
So laying into the Will and Lucas deck, like I was saying, it's basically a turbo ad nos list. So if you've played CDH before, you'll be familiar with that. It has a very similar game plan. It plays a lot of the same cards. What Rex likes to do is he keeps everything under 2 CMC so he can use... and it should be in there.
It's on the sideboard here, Luris.
Yeah, Luris of the Dream Den, so that he has a partner. And it's got a lot of recurable pieces, so things like Underworld Breach, things of that nature, that he can bring back using Luris to keep comboing off, even if you go and punch through some of his interaction. Me and Rex have actually personally had a whole lot of super fun counterspell wars that I usually tend to lose due to him having Tendrils of Agony ready, which is a Storm card, which makes a player lose 2 life for every spell cast this turn.
Oh, wow.
And what Storm does is copy that spell for everything that was cast. So if you throw out a couple of things, like let's say he opens up on a Grand Arbiter and I have to counter that, otherwise I can't interact for the rest of the turn, or the game really, on his turn. I have to counter that, so that's 2 spells already. If he has a counter spell for my counter spell and I have to respond to that again, we got 4 spells, and then if he just follows that up off of Tendrils, that's 10 damage right there. So it's very easy for it to stack up very fast if you're in the late game and you've both been sitting there playing Draw Go for a hot minute. And it can be just an absolutely brutal way to end a game completely unexpectedly. He has gotten me like that more than once.
And I'm really curious, since Rex is in the chat, if any of the new cards from Modern Horizons 3 looking really juicy for this deck? Because you haven't really changed much. Loose Neutral says, I play this deck on CDH minus the Luris. I think that's a rule in CDH, is it not? Or is...
So, CDH, in CDH, you might not be playing the Lurrus just because there are some things like Smothering Tithe and different things of that nature for value that you might want to be having in the deck. So you might not limit yourself to just that 2 CMC and under. You could, but typically you won't.
Yeah.
But here for Dual Commander, just having that partner is such big value because it's another guaranteed card that they have to deal with.
Absolutely.
So
with the
if you're on the
rule,
back
you got
foot,
to pay 3, add it to hand, and then you can pay the cost. So it's something you can do really if you got nothing, no pressure, but usually that it's a 6 mana turn. That's usually where you're going to see it play. And Loose Neutral said Cloudstone Creo loops with Dockside. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There's a lot of combos in this deck. I've been balanced in Teferi's protection more times than I can count against this deck.
I gave him that one actually.
Yeah, right. He's got some other combos. There's I believe he's got the artifact.
Yep. So there's also Grindstone combo with Painter's Servant.
So Grindstone here with the Painter's Servant and the creatures, minimal creatures here.
Yep. It does not play a lot. It is mostly a combo deck.
And what's really interesting about this Painter's Servant, and I was thinking about this the other day. There's been some people playing that the Light Paws deck, and you can make Painter's Servant force it to lose all of its attachments. So it's even hate bears against something like you'd think would be a little more difficult for him and challenging. With that, anyone who hasn't played Light Paws, it plays a lot like Boggles. If you remember back in the Modern era, where you put a bunch of enchantments and auras on top of it, it's already hexproof. Obviously, Light Paws doesn't have it, but there's a lot of auras that will give it protection from colors and give it that hexproof it needs, and make it just an oppressive card that can really kill you out of nowhere.
There are also a lot of corner cases with this kid that are super useful. So if he ever wanted to tech in Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, he could make everything blue and just kind of catch someone lacking.
Absolutely.
Because they would almost never think, oh, I'm just going to sit here and this Doomblade is now a blue card. Whoops.
There's a lot of things. Even a champion out there is just saying it is not an easy deck to play around. He's absolutely right.
No, the list is very tight, and I absolutely love it. I'm a massive fan.
Yeah, Champion says, spoilers, I made a lot of mistakes trying to play around the right thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to play around. I can confirm that.
This is exactly why we do this type of content. For those out there, watch the content. We do this for the living. Like, we just constantly look at what's being played and what people are doing and learn the lines and mistakes that other people have made. And that's the best part of like watching Magic, is I can learn from you guys' mistakes and maybe even get some more knowledge. And when I have intelligent co-hosts like this to help me out, my fellow dual caster for Dual Commander here.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. Dual casting. I've been getting slack for saying that, but it's dual casting for Dual Commander. So we got, he's going to be helping me out with a lot of the different lines, and we can talk these things through, hopefully with you in the chat. Let's get into loot. Loot. Got ourselves a new commander that's making the fray here.
Yep. This kid is brand spanking new, and he is a ton of fun. I actually wound up building this kid for normal commander just because I like the card too. So the main value for this kid is that that triggers during the upkeep, where you can get a whole bunch of extra cards based on the number of non-land permanents you got aside from loot.
Wow.
So you're going to have another creature, but then you can have stuff like artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, battles, the whole loop of everything. And literally everything. Yeah. But everything you get out on the board just nets you more and more cards during your upkeep.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot of value that you can just push over into a winning board state very easily. Especially if he goes unanswered for 2, maybe 3 turns, you could just build up a board state that is almost impossible for someone to manage. And on top of that, I actually had the privilege of playing Josh with this deck, so I know a few of the things he's trying to do. He's also got a few things in here. If you look over at the enchantments, he's also got Underworld Breach. Another fun one that he pulled on me the other day, or tried to, was Parallax Tide. And Parallax Tide is super gross. It basically will deprive you of your lands. And odds are good if you have loot out and running. In addition to it just netting you a card, it's very good option that you find something like Tidebinder or Stifle or some other effect to make sure they don't get their lands back.
So I'm seeing a lot of ramp here, some graveyard hate. I love the Planeswalker package here. This is an awesome new one that we've seen come out here from Jason Awaken. Being able to plot cards from hand and get some extra resources. Really good. And get the extra draw here. So you can't cast a spell until the 3rd, 4th, 5th turn, which is usually, honestly, in Dual Commander, you're going to see a lot of turns. This isn't like your CDH where things can end on turn 3. Obviously, they can with the just an insane hand.
Especially if you're playing mono red.
Absolutely. But it isn't something that you see too regularly and too often here. And I love this package. Minsc and Boo, the oppressor of Planeswalkers. I know that Nick yesterday was like, can we just ban this card? Because it just wins sometimes on
I'm with Nick.
Yeah. The card, as soon
4/4 with haste every turn is kind of brutal.
Absolutely. And the other thing that, the one thing I will say for the argument for this card, it costs 4 mana. And this is one of the highest cards, like in most dual commander decks outside of your commander. And there's so much blue in the format that most of the time you guys can't answer it. I rarely get this thing to land, but I gotta tell you, when it does, game! That one's mine. Oko, obviously, the one of the few formats you can still play this in, and just not, it still is quite impressive when it comes out, but because it can't be your commander, obviously because it's a planeswalker, but it can't be it's not an easy grab guaranteed, and is there any tutors outside of Demonic Tutor and maybe like some of the non-black tutors that can get this in a hand?
Don't think so. I mean, you can try to gamble it, but that's not usually a safe bet.
No, and then this one doesn't even play black, so it's just like one of those cards that it avoids that easy find feature for some of the cards, but it's still, when this thing hits the board, it demands an answer. We got some Blood Moon here because it is a blue heavy, and even in a blue deck, which I don't know how you do it, champion. I don't know how you do it. How do you're a Jund man. You're with me in the Jund. How could you abandon me for this blue? So disappointed.
Hey man, blue's the best color in Magic. It gives you more agency over the game than anything else.
It really does.
If you want to say in what your opponent's doing, you play blue. It's just as easy as that.
It can answer anything and have answers for anything. Champion says it's 2/3 Jund colors. I mean, yeah, I'm almost willing to forgive you for that. But that blue, the blue that happens to be in that deck, I don't know. I can't wait to get it. You ready to get in the gameplay?
Yeah, man, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Let's skip ahead just a little bit. Obviously, up here at the top is going to be Champion on the loot. We got to get you that one. I don't know if Big Score has any special arts. Do they?
They do.
Okay.
So the Big Score actually has those textured raised foils. And the textured raised foil loot has a picture of him with Jason Braska.
Yo.
And last I checked, it was like $250.
Okay, so that's all. Champion, we're going to be on the hunt for you. And if you can out there, maybe, I don't know if it'll come in this, but maybe you can pull them out of here. Big Score is in the set. It's $100.
Oh, it dropped down? All right.
Okay, but we, as soon as we can, when we start rolling some money, we're going to give out some of those really nice, what do you call them? The collector booster packs sometimes I pick up for an opportunity out here. So sometimes I like to give these away. Obviously, got to get into the point where I can return. This is more money than I have viewers right now. So unfortunately, can't give this quite away just yet. But if you guys help us out, grow, get into the bigger channel, better stuff is to come. I have this stuff set aside just on the off chance I can give away some product. He did give me $1 in bits. So I mean, yes, you are making a dent. It is only $23 off from redeeming the value of that pack. And I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate it. It's one of the goals that Twitch keeps demanding I advertise. So if I can get to 1,000 bits, I'd really appreciate it. $1 can save the heartache of me staring at this blank goal state here. The arms of an angel.
Let's see.
All right, so
I see.
Do we know who's going
Endurance.
first?
That's kind of spicy.
That's a really good card against some of these new decks.
Yeah, especially so with Luris.
Yes.
Rex has a lot of graveyard interaction because he's always going to try to get stuff back with Luris. So Endurance can be real key there. There are multiple times actually where I've had to deal with the whatever the monkey's paw tutor is.
Oh jeez. Playing a 3-card hand with that? What was that? Or is he mulliganing?
Oh yeah, he's taking mulligan.
Oh, okay. I thought he was playing all 3 of those cards. Just went bobble fetch. I'm going to get this card and play this card.
I've seen turns like that.
He's going to 5 here. Ooh, that must be a good situation. For at least for Champion here. Rex, not so much.
Yeah. Mulligan can be super tricky. Like, there are some hands that I'll just keep a 6, even if it might be a better 5, just because I just don't want to drop the card advantage. And it's already rough sometimes going down to 6, so...
And Champion's already calling out his own hand here. Getting that endurance that we called out earlier here. Yeah, it's... That Underworld Breach type combo hates that card. It's exactly why it's in all of my green decks. Rex says, showing the magic Christmas land to an offer you can't refuse. You can 0-drop to have 3 mana on turn 1. Right? Yeah, right? That's an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, going to 5 here. Gonna see if we can afford to skip ahead for 30 seconds. Looks like we can.
Yep, there we go.
Okay. Sometimes I get a little nervous. I want to miss some gameplay here.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Rex says, but I could keep a 1-lander. All right.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. I mean, I lost myself in the RCQ last week on a 1-lander that I was in a nice little one. If I would have won that one, I'd been locked for top 8. And just conceded that game just by keeping that 1-lander.
Yeah, those 1-landers could be tricky. They're awful enticing because you have every other piece of action you need. You just can't cast none of it.
You look at it and you're like, okay, if I see 1 land, I just win. And then you don't see that land. As Jimmy D says, don't keep bad hands. Yes, do not keep bad hands. Don't take the risk. It's better not to take the risk. And if you think, like, your mind will pretend the worst, will keep in your mind the worst case scenario the most. But sometimes when you think, oh, that last time I checked, it would have worked. Trust me, don't use those as statistics.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to see one of those do surveil lands, like Commercial District.
Yep.
I'm telling you, these surveil lands are just absolutely overpowered.
They do have a whole lot of hidden value. Like I was saying before, they really do add a whole lot. Being able to pick your next draw based on what you need is actually pretty valuable.
And mind you, like the surveil lands that are out here don't have type to it. So that's one of the things. Oh, we're going to see one of his creatures at that type binder here. Not something I guess that he wanted to keep open. It's a great card against Will, but I know that Rex's deck plays very few creatures. So imagine the value of this, and then maybe he's digging for land. What do you think?
I would guess from that opening hand, probably digging for land.
Okay.
Because I saw a whole grip of cards that looked like creatures and not so much like land.
Okay.
So I think he had...
It's an interesting berry, because I know that can hit some of the pieces. It's a great late game card, especially if he tries that Painter Servant. No, wait, can't. Yeah. It's a triggered ability. So he can stop the grinding station. So he can stop that mid.
And keep him from doing that.
He can also get the Wishclaw, stop the Wishclaw.
Yeah.
Which would give him 1...
So...
Does it still exchange hands?
I don't believe so, as that's part of the ability, not the cost, as I remember.
Okay. Looks like Xander's Lounge going to be the play from the Wooded Foothill fetch here. Something luckily Rex doesn't have to worry about burn, maybe. Is this loot deck really a burn deck?
Not really. It does have some tempo cards, so I mean, obviously it's still going to play Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning because they can be removal.
Yeah.
But it's not strictly a burn deck like Mono Red, so it's not going to be coming out the gates nearly as quickly as that. So he's got a lot more time to work with it.
All right. Beautiful to ponder. Rex really testing the value of my camera here with that nice little flashbang of beautiful shininess. All right, keep it on top. I did like that cut from Champion there where he took the very first card and said, no, you don't get that first card.
Yep. One of my favorite cuts is the top card to the bottom.
Yes. All right, so it looks like he sees his land drop. I think I see a third one in hand, so at least Luke could be online, depending. Passing the turn back to Rex. And of course, our HR manager decided to come back for one more visit. She just wants to make sure that we're taking care of her. Huh?
I forgot to turn in my form.
Oh, jeez. How many times do we have to tell you? You got to put the cover page on the CPS report.
I haven't printed a cover page in my life.
Thank God. You're lucky. Hey, our HR manager, come up. I love that the symbol just blocks her face here. I promise this is a dog. Don't think anything otherwise. Polly, I'm looking at you. Hey, girl. Just get all the pets today. Go all the pets today. Yeah. All right. So, Cena Fetch looks like his own surveil land here.
Yeah.
Hey, the mascot's getting into play. I love this. Champion deciding to let Luke get his playtime.
Yeah, man. It looks like we're looking at a turn 3 loot after all.
All right. Is he forecasting, you think?
It seems like it. He's moving it onto the mat there.
Yeah. Luke gonna see his own play. Loot. Shadowy Backstreet Boy. I agree. Right here. All right, passing back the turn. So here we go to end step. I love this. I love this. Make the control player play on your turn, on their turn. This is what I love the absolute most. Too deep. What do you think? Would you do this on Luke? Because I love what he just got here.
So I'm always a fan of value.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever wrong to get that questing druid going.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the 2 cards you just exiled here, would you go loot on this play? Or would you use the Expressive Iteration, a very powerful card in this type of scenario?
I would probably go for a bit more value just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if Josh has never seen Rex playing, he might assume he's slightly more of a hard control deck than a combo deck.
Yeah.
So he might be expecting more than a counterspell here. So he's probably trying to get this out here and draw some hate before he casts his commander.
It's an interesting debate here to wonder how, whether I take the value of those free cards for turn.
Yeah.
And he's already had, unfortunately.
And there's an express iteration.
Yeah. Well, the Expressive Iteration, usually the play is look 3D, put the land as the revealed card so you can play it, but he's already played the land for turn. So he's going to have to play something for blue and green. Mm-hmm. 2 lands and an Underworld Breach. I mentioned the Breach is going to go to hand. These 2 lands are just not going to see the light of day.
So I would assume Breach, hand and a land.
No, land at the bottom, exactly. Yep, Underworld Breach, one of the key combo pieces in this deck. Puts that to the bottom.
He is getting ready.
No free play for that one, but we're going to see a cycle Savaya Triumph. Okay. This is one of the things that Rex is saying, give me a secret lair or I can't play these cards right, because he's just playing with the normal foil. Still enough to flashbang us, but not enough to...
Not blowing up the whole camera just yet.
Yeah, and looks like there was a discarded hand size. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Got himself an endurance to play. I don't think... Rex is a very, very patient combo player. So you won't see him on the first few turns trying to go for these combo pieces. Most of the time, you'll see him try to get out the Wishclaw Talisman that loves him so much, I swear. Mm-hmm. I don't often see decks play the same cards over and over again. But if Rex had a card, Wishclaw's Talisman would be like his soul, his representation here. Yeah. Looks like he took the option to get a clue token. That's interesting.
Yeah. So the thing I like about Will there is he's so much value off of just entering. You get that clue token so you can draw more cards, keeping you going for the late game. He acts as a speed bump for the early game if there's a whole bunch of creatures rushing you down. When he dies, he gives you more clue tokens for more card advantage. So really, it's just all a win-win. Mm-hmm. If you cast him and get him to resolve, it's great.
Oh, yeah. So Champion says he definitely didn't realize how hard the combo deck this really was. Yeah, and Sermon says clue counts towards loot. Yep. Mm-hmm. But clue token is good for him. Yes, it is good for Champion. Love the back and forth here. Yeah, absolutely right. Stomp on the other side. A lot of adventure cards. Love these adventure cards. I play so many of them. Gonna knock that
I don't
Will
play
out.
As many as I should.
So we're not going to see ourselves a 19-turn Will clock. It's unfortunate.
Nope, not just yet.
Not just yet. I want to see Will go aggro mode. You know what he needs in this deck? He needs like some kind of like Monstrous Growth or something in his colors to just make Will like this 7/7. Like, I beat you with that.
So my favorite Voltron pick for whenever I need a commander to get swole is Blackblade Reforged.
Oh yeah.
Just because I'm always on some kind of ramp or control deck. Mm-hmm. So all my creatures are going to get super big if I have a Blackblade Reforged. Because it's just the more lands I got, the bigger it goes. So it's fantastic. It's just one piece of equipment you got to throw in.
Yep.
And it gives you that nice little aggro option.
So on the death trigger for Will, he's getting 2 more clue tokens.
Yep.
Or just 1. All right, so Josh is declining.
Yep.
Josh has the option to give him 2 for 1. Mm-hmm. It's that constant trade. So he's looking back and forth, and as we're seeing here, Josh didn't know how much of a combo deck this is. He hadn't had the luxury of playing Rex as much as we have.
Yeah, I will say the first time that I played Rex, I think he dropped Wishclaw Talisman in on me on turn 2, and I just started sweating bullets because I was like, "What am I dealing with?"
This is it. This is it. That card is so terrifying, and it's a card that most people just stay away from because, like,
you don't see it much anywhere else.
The best card,
yeah.
But he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 of my best cards, and I'm just gonna win."
Yep. It doesn't matter if you're giving it to them because you're winning on the spot,
right? Hey, getting the Demonic Tutor, one of the key pieces for his engine. Note that he doesn't know that he's got that endurance in hand. And he's been so patient with it. I got to give you massive props, Champion, for being so patient with that. Because this is the turn he loads up his graveyard. So next turn he can go off on that Underworld Breach combo. Mm-hmm. He's got all the pieces he needs just to go Underworld Breach, end it. Because he's going to be looking for, I mentioned, the Tainted Pack. Because he already played the Demonic Tutor. Usually this card gets Demonic Tutor. But he's going to get the Underworld Breach. Yep, going to get the last piece of the Underworld Breach here.
Don't have another green card.
in hand. Oh, but you do have double green open. So if this should have been the indication, because you do play Underworld Breach. So hopefully in your mind you were thinking, oh, I need to leave 3 open to stop him from Underworld killing me here. Because all the pieces that Rex needs to end this game are right now in his graveyard and in his hand. He left Counterspell open. Okay, that's not terrible. But personally, I'm like, if I know he's going for the Underworld Breach, just endurance. Like, get the pressure on, wait for him to go off, and then use the Counterspell to protect the endurance, because you really need that to go off. What'd you get? Tunnel vision to get that loot on the field? I mean, I love me some loot. Don't get me wrong.
To be fair, if he does stop just the Underworld Breach, then he does have enough time to start taking over with loot.
That's true.
So
That's true.
this is definitely a potential line, and I can see doing it too. Especially more so if you had a green card for the endurance.
Yeah.
But I think if I ever see 2 tutors and I don't have interaction, I think I know I'm in for a bad time.
Right, and we're going for a silence here. Counterspell. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Counterspell going to see the silence. Maybe he's trying to bluff him to stop him from going off. Oh, spell snare.
Yep.
Going to stop that. So that silence is going to go through. There's no interaction at this point. Will forcing him to tap that much mana be that much of a deficit? We're going to see him try to combo off. Can you explain what's going on?
Right now, he's setting stuff up for counting out mana here in a second. So he's going to start throwing dice out on those basics.
Yeah.
To show how much he's got floating.
Wow. All right, so we're probably going to see the combo go off here. You're going to have to help me walk it through here, because I've watched this 3 or 4 times, and I always seem to screw it up in my head here. It's not an easy line to combo to get through.
No, it is pretty... it's a pretty lengthy line. But once you have it, it's almost guaranteed. It's pretty disgusting.
Cabal to get that mana. This is an absolute vital card to make sure that he gets his combo. Needs that added mana to keep adding to keep casting those spells. Champion says, yeah, the old Molda 5 combo plus interaction. Yeah, it happens.
Gets him every time.
Gets him every time. All right, so tapping that his only red source to get that Underworld Breach on has 5 white floating, 4 black. Can exile 3.
And I guess we're going to probably look for a tutor at some point here, because he's probably going to rip what he needs with Demonic Tutor for, I'm guessing... Oh, you're going to go for the Storm End?
Oh, going for Storm. Okay. So, where is the Storm counter right now?
So then that'd be the colorless one that he just flipped backside up.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got 6 spells on the stack, so he needs 3 more, and then he can just keep flashing back Cabal Ritual into the D-Tutor. Yeah, and once he's got the D-Tutor, he goes and gets the one thing I was saying.
Yes, okay, so yeah, Rex is correcting us here. I thought it was white before I saw it, but yes, that's the Storm counter. Everything he just said, just let's play this out real quick, just so that we understand back at home.
Yeah, so
it's a Brain Freeze Storm combo. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what he'll be doing is Underworld Breach allows him to cast a card from the yard if he exiles 3 cards from his yard, in addition to paying the original mana cost. So he can go through and use the Cabal Ritual to basically spam up enough mana to cast anything he needs. He has the Demonic Tutor in yard, so he'll be using 2 and 3 more cards for that. Sounds like he said he's getting the Brain Freeze first, so that's going to basically guarantee him enough cards, because Brain Freeze is another Storm card that'll mill target
himself,
player.
because he's usually used against another opponent, but this one he uses for himself, so he can get the... I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, it has both applications. If you need more fuel in the yard to keep going with Underworld Breach, you can mill yourself, and then if you do happen to have enough of a Storm count, you can also just mill out the opponent. But with Tendrils of Agony, then it's also, now that he's at like 10 Storm, it's pretty much, or will it be at 10 Storm, it's pretty much a guaranteed 20 plus damage.
Absolutely.
So he's basically going to rack up a whole bunch of mana, get everything that he has in his library into his graveyard so he has access to it, and then just go off with the Storm mechanic and take the win.
Yeah, good win on Rex here. I think we've seen seen this combo maybe once or twice, maybe, but most of the time I've seen the either the Painter Servant or what is it, the Teferi's Protection combo. But yeah, this deck has so many different lines, and on a Molda 5, as we saw earlier, impressive comeback.
It's super efficient.
on a deck that most people are just sleeping on. I think this is one of the smallest represented decks in the format right now. Yeah, he's just showing off the brain freeze.
Yeah, it does not have a whole bunch of metagame percentage at the moment. You don't see a whole bunch of folks playing it.
Yeah.
But
and if you're joining us from Europe out there and you want to take a look at this thing, maybe you should put some of this in that format. And you got yourself an intelligent, competent pilot. You're going to have some amazing good content here.
Like Neutral was saying, he plays it in CDH. And if it's efficient enough for CDH to kill a table, odds are real good that you can run it to kill a single person too.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
All right. Trying to get through the magic of the shuffling here. And one of those things where, Champion, we're not trying to call you out. I mean, obviously, hindsight's its own thing. So, I mean, obviously, like, if we get the opportunity to not be in the hot light and the hot seat and know a lot more about what these decks are, so don't think you really did anything, like, terribly wrong. But at least next time you know, leave that 3 open. And you got Endurance back in hand, so I'm sure you're going to learn real quick. I know that when I play against the people when they first see the Blood Moon, for the rest of those games and matches, they're getting basics every single time. Every single time. They're like, not again. Not again. I'm not losing to that again. No one feels good after losing to a Blood Moon like that.
Yep.
So
Blood Moon does usually leave me a little salty just because it's such a I win on the spot with nothing else that I got to do card.
Oh, it's such a shame he had to shuffle away that Endurance. Both players going to 5 for this game 2. Rex up game 1.
Yep. So thinking about it, if both players are going down to 5, I would assume just off the bat that the loot deck would be favored because he's just going to get so much more free value once he lands another permanent in addition to loot.
He's also got that Beans card, which is a great value packet to really start getting some additional draw engine going. I know that especially in the formats where Beans is really prevalent, that is a card that gets you right back in the late game.
Yeah, up the Beanstalk with loot. That's a whole lot of value if you start going off with something like Fury and all that kind of stuff.
All right, so we got to turn 1 island.
Yep, not optimal, but if you're on 5 cards, you got to do what you got.
Do. It looks like we got a fetch here, Misty Rainforest.
Yep. Let's see.
Those judge promos. I love DC. That's a DCI.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact for you. So Rex has attempted to make his entire deck judge promos.
Yes.
Yep.
As long as they'll print them, he'll take them.
Yep.
So come on, Wizards, help him out here. And help the judge program out there, too.
Yeah, they got that new judge program. So actually, that'd be super handy. Start making more.
Start making some judge promos of the triumphs. That's what we need. We need some more triumphs.
Yeah, more triumphs would be super handy.
And what's really nice about those judge promos, they don't seem to affect the market too much. Because there's such a limited stack that goes out. And it's
the judge promos are super pricey for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't usually drive up.
Or drive down some of the other prices.
Because it's such a different art.
Yeah. And it's just, it's its own thing. You have to be a part of the judge program to even get the opportunity. Then you have to also be a part of an event that they give it away. So there's already a limited stock, and it never seems to affect the massive market. So it's one of those safe bets where Magic can really give back to the community while also not interfering with the secondary market.
Yeah. Got a Surveil land. That's always nice, especially if you're down on some resources. And he's keeping it, so that's a good sign.
Absolutely. Right off the top, Rex saw that land, just kept it. Both of them probably, I'm imagining it's both in the same situation, just making sure they hit those land drops.
Yep. Keeping pace with the other person when you're behind can be a little tricky.
Oh, one of the few creatures.
We got a counterspell creature. That kid is hard to play through sometimes.
So it's pay 1, sacrifice him, and it counters what?
I believe it mana leaks an instant or a sorcery or a non-creature spell.
So definitely a good, what's his power and toughness, 1/3 or 1/3?
I think it's like a 2/1.
Is it a 2/1? I want to pull up that deck list here. I want to see what kind of a clock are we representing here with this amazing creature. And that he's looking at the backside as if that's going to really matter that much.
It can. That could come back pretty easy.
Okay.
Because he can put himself into the yard and then you can disturb him.
Oh, absolutely. But a nice 2/1 clock. That is a 10-turn clock represented from the will side. And those that don't know, he's not an aggro build, but I love to pretend like he is. Yeah, we're getting the damage in. All right, 2/1 already getting in for some damage.
You can't give up that free damage.
Yeah, Rex is just
going to You never know when that's going to matter. See?
Wizard's Lightning. All right, and Spell Pierce. Oh.
Especially when players are down on resources, if they don't have the answer for the 2/1.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the Grizzly Bear is just going to get there.
Right? Just get that nice little 2/2 vanilla. All right, tapping green. Let's see what we see here.
Yeah. I am super curious.
Oh, this is that sorcery for...
search out a land.
Yeah. This was a card that I was thinking about putting in the Greasefang deck. It allows him to look for a basic and put it into play. But if he has like certain creatures, he can also get a creature here. It's Traverse the Ulvenweld. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Ulvenweld.
If he has Delirium, I think you can get a creature.
Yeah. Really good card. This is something that really the Greasefang
Play the
was
loot.
out.
Do
We're
it.
gonna see it. We're gonna see loot.
Play the loot. What are you doing?
No loot. He hasn't broadcasted it. He hasn't told us that he's going to do it. Okay, you're going to ramp out. Okay, this is fine. He's not in danger zone. Witchclaw Tennyson is not out. He still has 9 turns for this creature to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
She's Rex hitting every land off the top. I swear. Rex just like, ooh, a land. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Multi 5 getting every single land he needs. All right, are we going to see his mascot come on out? Tap in 1 green for an extra. Now, is this the one that taps for double green, or is this one
so that taps for 1 of whatever color you call it. Okay.
So, here's that Up the Beanstalk we were talking about. Going to get that card engine going. Yeah. Nope, going to see Drawn Unlock to counter it. Just enough. He has literally just enough for the Drawn Unlock to counter it.
Yeah, let's see, though. Looks like we might be debating throwing a counter spell back.
It's true. And I agree, Champion. Champion says loot really doesn't do anything here. And you're absolutely right. He doesn't. We just like to see our mascot on the field. Loot. But you were trying to build up the game state.
He does nothing.
Hey, you already put him into play. I mean, all right. Oh, memory lapse. Okay. Let's see, Force of Will in hand. Is he going to fight this? Subtlety, Force of Will? I don't know if I fight this. I don't. He's got the mana to... All right, yeah. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. You've got some good hands here. You're really going to want to save those counter spells just in case he decides to go off. Yes, we got a 7-turn clock.
Grizzly Bears are going.
Will's coming out to get the aggression out. Yes, here we go. This is Rex right now. Look at me. Look at me. I am the aggressor. I am the aggressor. That's
oh Lord, I can't even see what that card is.
That's a grindstone.
That's a grindstone. Yeah. Oh man, it's a fancy art. That's why I can't recognize it.
Wow. Okay. Beat down aggro coming from Rex here. Yeah, loot really pays off with having other permanents, but getting that clue token, you got yourself out something else. That's good.
And you got the enchantment.
And the enchantment on the land, so that's 2. So, I mean, not a terrible... I mean, it's not the best. It's not what your deck wants to be doing most of the time, but you do get some kind of value here, even though Will's saying, I'm coming for you. Bring it on.
That's true. Plus, you'll be able to block the will now.
Yeah. Stop that aggression. Here we come, loot. Hit that field. We're going to see a draw. See if Rex wants to fight. Nope, he's not going to fight. Just going to pass back here.
Those clue tokens just let you keep on going.
Right.
You can just start dropping your commander and then you just start ripping cards.
Yeah. Because he plays such an aggressive, just a tempo-esque pace and a deck that's really trying to combo out and extremely patient, with the way that he plays these things. Even if he had the combo right now, I guarantee you'd be waiting for a Silence and Protection spell to go off. Guarantee you. Because he doesn't never just tries to jam the combo out. All right, so there's the block. See? Loot already getting some value in blocking that will. Impressive blocking by Loot here. Really impressive. Loot really showing himself.
Flexing the bigger creatures.
Yeah. You shall not pass, says Loot. Against that powerful will. But that clock's still continuing. You're going to see top 2. All right, getting to see invasion cards. Not often seen in Dual Commander. This is one of those ramp invasions.
Yeah, so this one lets him discard a card, draw a card, and make a treasure token.
Yep.
So all super valuable for Will. Or not for Will, for Loot.
You're going to see him play it. I wonder if he actually cares about passing over. Sometimes the reason a lot of people don't play these things is because the value of giving that opponent life has just been too much. That's why a lot of these battles didn't really see play. But I got to say, like some formats, they're sleeping on it.
So for smaller battles like that one, where the cost is efficient enough, you don't really have to worry about attacking it too much. It's just an option that's there, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Like, there are some of the larger ones, like the Invasion. It's still valuable to play them because you can go and combo off with something that removes all the counters off of it, and you've got a free 8/8.
Absolutely.
But for a lot of the smaller ones like this, the blue-black one that makes them discard a card, just little different like value pieces like that. I don't feel like you always have to go and plan on attacking the battle.
Mm-hmm.
So they can still have they still have their uses. But yeah, definitely a lot more limited than just jamming every battle you can find into a deck.
Yeah, Invasion of Zendikar is my absolute favorite. That's someone I use the combo off with the vampiric
X-Mage.
X-Mage, thank you. Yeah. Oh, so all right. So Jace not long for this world. Okay. That's a shame. I was really excited to see this new Jace start seeing some play.
Yeah, I've been toying with that kid too. He is super neat. So the ability to just go and plot a combo piece and then just on next turn you cast your combo for free with counterspell backup is an insane game plan to me.
And I'm curious, Rex, if you're out there, why aren't you playing this? Is it just too slow for your type of deck format? Because it seems like this would fit in pretty well with some of your combo piece decks. Or has this just been one of those that didn't add enough value? We'll wait for him to respond. Wait for Rex to see if he's going to try and combo off. He's got one piece threatening it here. Don't have the space in the deck yet. Yeah. So it's a very, very tight deck list. Yeah. And he's got to give up something to make room for another. And the consistency he's been on, I can understand why he doesn't change his deck. It's been doing so well for him.
Yeah, it's very tuned.
Lorien revealed. All right, so he's going to go look for himself for another island. Good little... And I'm surprised with that much mana, he didn't try to go for the draw effect.
Might be saving it. Depends on what he's got in hand there.
And he can Underworld Breach it, I guess, kind of. But it's just... he has so much mana available. And that is sorcery, isn't it?
Yeah, so Underworld Breach is an enchantment that he's got to play at sorcery speed.
No, I'm saying the
for Lorien for the draw? Yeah, it is a sorcery.
Yeah, sorcery speed. So it would give him shields down. So that's probably the reason he's going this route, would you say?
Yeah, he's probably still trying to build up some resources. He's probably going to try to... I would assume there's going to be something in hand here. It's probably interaction at this point. So we'll probably leave that up, draw off the clue token at the end of the next turn, and then try to...
And what did he go for? Surveil Land. I'm telling you, the value of this thing is insane. He's just going to bend that an offer you can't refuse. Beautiful art from the RCQ season a little bit ago. I've got a couple of those.
Oh, there goes the clue token.
Really happy to get those. Going to dig a little bit deeper, get those resources out. If his last card was the Painter's Servant, I guarantee you I know what he's doing. He's just waiting to make that protection. Wants to silence some kind of counter spell, something he could fight over. So Luke going to get some extra value. This is exactly what we're talking about. 3 other permanents, giving him 3 choices now. Legislator, Ponder, so he can combo both those pieces and literally get the Legislator trigger. And he can start playing with the Delayed Halfling to make it so he can make his legendaries uncounterable here.
Yep. Never again will Luke go to the top of the library.
Right? This is that value engine, value town. Luke really showcasing his growth, even though Will has been trying to create that 10-turn clock here.
Yep, Will does a very similar effect. You just got to pay all that mana for it.
Right.
Luke just gives it to you up front.
Birds of Paradise hit the bin. That's a beautiful birds.
That is nice. What edition birds is that? Didn't we see before it got out to the bin?
No, it looks like it might be one of the new Return to Ravnica Old Border.
Yeah.
You have Maya Cradle. Sorry, you have Maya Cradle to play. Now he has infinite green access.
Here comes that
Tarmogoyf. Whoa, man, we haven't seen this one. That's another deck I can't wait to in Modern Horizons 3. Oh, it's gonna be so good. They got the commander deck that's like Tribal Goyf. Wait for it. Tribal Goyf. I'm gonna break it.
Yep. Only problem with that deck, they're not going to include any of the Goyf D6s in there. They won't do it. I guarantee you. They totally should.
I've got 2 of them on me right now because I was an old school Jund player when Goyf was a thing, and I brought so many of those dice. Ooh, here we go. Deadly Dispute. Going to get some extra value from here.
Yep.
So it looked like he was trying to do the kill spell, gets an extra trigger for the Deadly Dispute, offering him that clue token option. It looks like he took the damage.
Yep. Decline is absolutely the right choice here. You want to keep him starved on resources as long as possible.
Yeah, because those clue tokens exactly what we're talking about. Those late game try to build up. All he's looking for right now is some piece of interaction and the second combo piece.
Yep. And saw in game 1.
Yeah.
Rex went off with 5 cards.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more than that here at this point.
And he's so patient with it. I see a lot of people that are just extremely impatient and just want to jam and just like they don't care. Make them have it. But Rex has been playing this thing as a veteran for so long that he knows that I need to have certain pieces to go off and I can at least control the board state. Now I imagine he's going to be a little more rushed. This turn of this loop deck Now representing a 7-8.
Yep.
Goyf.
Goyf is about to start swinging for sure.
Yeah, demanding an answer. Profane Tutor, okay, on suspend. Yep. So now also representing clock. He's like, you better
2
answer
turns,
now.
and then we're finding a combo piece.
Right.
With the grindstone in play, there's we're gonna have some action firing real soon.
Right.
He's got the blockers to live through. He might be recasting Will here.
Yep.
Because that's going to give him another clue token, more blockers. It'll buy him time against the Goyf.
Oh, yeah. He definitely needs blockers. No.
See some
spell snap.
Counter spell. Very nice.
And the second spell that turn, so we're going to get ourselves a nice little...
Ledger Shredder trigger.
Ledger Shredder trigger.
Yeah, man.
Can you target, or can you counter that Profane Tutor for the suspend?
Yes. So whenever Profane Tutor comes off a suspend, it's being cast like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Just at a slightly different timing.
So when he originally paid that suspend cost, there's no interaction for counter.
Nope.
All right.
Not a second cast.
No, you missed that. He missed the trigger on the second cast. Oh, important to keep track of the game state. I know it really gets difficult sometimes. We're going to see a lot of cards from this loot.
That is going to make this game quite a race. So we got a Dragon Rage Channeler, a Layla,
with
the Blade Reforged. Yep.
Unholy Heat with the Delirium
Heat to get a blocker out of the way, and Expressive Iteration. Layla? That's a lot of gas coming out of loot.
Layla? Oh, man.
You must have fed that man a can of beans.
The problem is I think he's only on 2. He's got the treasure token, too. Mm-hmm. No, he's got a clue token.
Treasure token.
Oh, yeah. I think he might have trashed it. That looks like a clue token from here.
If he trashed it earlier, that is unfortunate.
Because it looks like he only has access to 1 red source at the moment. No, there was a second spell. Gotcha. Okay, there was no second spell. It's per person. That's where we screwed it up here. I'm sorry. Yes, him playing into it does not make the second spell. The second spell must be cast by the same person.
Gotcha.
And that's basically what happened. Will was the first, and he was... if Profane Tutor didn't count to the stack?
No, so it's not casting. It's just suspending. It's different.
Yeah. And that's what we're talking about.
But I thought he had Deadly Disputed, so that's on me. He must have done that the turn before.
Mm-hmm. So Aurelia going to come in. Excellent using... Because it is a legendary. You can use that the red from Delayed Halfling. Unholy Heat going to get rid of one of the blockers.
Mm-hmm.
We got our second spell trigger now for Legislator. He's got Will off the board, so this is all aggro. What are we looking at in life points here?
Depending on what he hits off this Layla, it could be a one-shot dream.
What kind of damage are we looking at right now?
Not enough, but it's still quite a bit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, I think about 13.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, he did a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Putting him down to what I think is 4 now. Yep.
So...
both players demanding an answer. This is the turn. So we either get a Toxic Deluge to get him back in the to restabilize and get his combo
Deluge
piece.
ain't gonna fix it, unfortunately, on account of the size of that Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, the Karma was way too big.
Yeah, we're gonna need a Wrath or a Damnation, probably more like a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
Just because there is some blue mana over there open, so there is probably a counter spell to throw up.
Deluge would kill him. Yeah. Sorry, thank you.
The balance.
Okay.
Or no, that's Enlightened Tutor. My bad.
Okay, Enlightened Tutor.
But Enlightened Tutor does get him Painter Servant to the top. So that means we might be looking at a Counterspell Ward here in the near future.
Imagine.
Yep, there's the Painter Servant.
He's absolutely demanding a response now. He has enough mana to do the combo right now. Mm-hmm. And on upkeep is going to try to force this through. So, all right. So Rex is filling us in that he hasn't even drawn yet. So this was an Enlightened Tutor.
Yeah, this will be the draw.
So it guarantees that he gets a Painter Servant in the draw. Going to hand, doesn't even need to play a draw spell. He's got Treasure Note though. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what
Painter
happens
Servant
here.
come to hand. So Josh has to respond now.
Mm-hmm.
Can he fight it? Because this is the last turn of this match. Is this going to be Rex comboing off? And I think I saw a Force of Will in Josh's hand. James says, this is where I made the mistake. I should have countered the tutor, but countered the servant instead. Yeah.
And then he's got a way to get he'll get it back.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But this is what we do. We watch the games to learn. We watch the games. Painter Servant coming out, demanding an answer.
Yep, so that's going to get countered. Then I'm assuming
So that Force of Will probably going to come from hand here. He has enough to even hardcast it, too. So we're going to see a hardcast Force of Will? You don't see that every day.
Yeah, but if you got to conserve your resources, I've definitely had to do it more than once myself.
Absolutely.
And I hate it every time.
You're right. All right, tap in 2. So we're going to use the clue, draw a card. Trying to look for, I imagine, another blue source so I can easily pitch that Force of Will. Force of Will to play. Subtlety out to the yard. So this is going to get countered. Oh, he's going to let it happen.
Yep, and then I think he's got a reanimate spell like a necromancy.
Tapping 3.
Oh, Saven's Reclamation. Yep, same deal. It's going to bring it back from the yard to play.
Oh, and he has just enough mana to activate.
Yep.
Wow. Here we go with that Painter Center Grind Station. What color did you pick? It's important. It's important. What color did you pick? Rex, I'm not going to continue playing this until you tell me what color you picked. We're going to wait here and make everyone suffer. What color did you pick for this Painter Servant? And we're just going to wait here patiently and wait here patiently. While we're waiting here patiently for him to tell us, no color, Josh Scoop. No! What color? I want to know the color you picked. Purple for fun. Rex calling purple the new Magic Edition color.
Hey, it's closer than you think.
Yeah, right? All right, a 2-0 sweep from Rex. Not the first time we've seen this. Will representing some strong presence here. But if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that, smash that like button, do whatever we can to start getting ourselves up to 500 plus even more subscribers. We really appreciate it. As always, stay humble.